Yes, Emmy AI. Am I audible and visible? No one is. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Arvind. Good afternoon, Anmol. Very good afternoon, beta. Thank you. Okay, Arvind, you were asking about the syllabus. It's there. Okay, thank you, Arvind. Thank you, beta. Arvind, the syllabus is there in your content, beta. It's already uploaded over there. You can check. Just give me a minute. I will tell you from where you can see it. Just give me a minute. I'm sharing my screen and share with you the content. Okay. Okay. Tell me, my screen is visible. Yes, in BB. It's already uploaded over there. Tell me, screen is okay. Okay, so now look at the content. I'm sharing that content. I'm just look. Content is visible here. The mission vision PEOs or आपके जो है, there is a one folder course overview. Course overview में when you going to click over there, you will get the complete information about the course. कि क्या objectives and outcomes, course information, and you can see over here course syllabus and suggestive readings. When you're going to click over there, you will get the syllabus. This is your complete syllabus, right? Here you can see your syllabus. Complete PSOs, everything mapping hai. Readings maybe you can see the online purchase of books and the downloads, everything is there. This is your syllabus. Complete syllabus is there, right? Right, Arvind? Is it visible? Is it clear? Yes, everyone got the syllabus or not yet? Okay, got it? Very good. So it was there in your आपके course outcome में ही था. Now it's visible. Okay. That's okay. Okay, so in the last lecture, what we did, I think we did the utility computing and your parallel computing, right? So who's going to tell me what is that? There are only 5 students today. What about the rest of आपकी class में वैसे भी only 10 to 11 students हैं. वो भी नहीं आज, only 5 students. Why? Where are the others? And tell me one more thing. Who is the CR of your class? आपकी class में CR है कोई? Arvind, who is the CR of your class? प्लेसमेंट ड्राइव है. ओके तो आप लोग नहीं गए प्लेसमेंट ड्राइव में? अरविंद, यू आर द सीआर ऑफ क्लास. ओके, नॉन टीपीपी वाले हो. ओके दैट्स गुड. अरविंद बेटा, अगर आपका कोई ग्रुप है ना, सो ऐड मी इन दैट ग्रुप आल्सो, राइट? बिकॉज अगर कोई आपकी इंफॉर्मेशन होती है या मुझे पास ऑन करनी है तो सो दैट आई कैन पास ऑन दैट इंफॉर्मेशन, राइट? आपके पास मेरा नंबर है? नॉट हैविंग. यस, तभी पूछ रही हूँ. इट्स this is my contact. Okay, so add me in the group. And one more thing, I have instructions for you about your term paper. So you all have to submit one term paper by the end of your semester, yeah, by the end of your classes and all. So start preparing your term paper, beta. And one more thing, your coordinator said that you can prepare the term paper in groups also, right? So even 2 or more than 2, I think 3 maximum students can be there, work on a same term paper, but the term paper should be of good quality, right? So if you are interested in any topic, आपके group में से या आपकी class में से the students, those who are having interest in a similar type of field, so they can combine their term paper and they can work on a same topic, but उस topic का एक अपने good quality paper submit करना है, right? So abhi say you have to, it's abhi kali we had a meeting with your coordinator. So she just mentioned that it's not compulsory to give every student to give one paper. They can give in the groups also, right? Clear? Okay, okay, very good. Okay. Okay, let's just start with today's topic. Firstly, I was asking you that, hello, ma'am, it's you, Arvind, who is telling me hello, like in the. Arvind, did you text me right now? Okay, okay, good. Okay, so I was asking you about the difference between the topics we did, parallel computing and your utility computing. Can anyone tell me what's the difference between a parallel and your um, utility computing? Who's going to tell me the utility computing? Okay, thank you, Arvind. Okay, let me share a small poll with you, then I'll get your answers. Okay. I'm sharing a poll with you. Just give me a minute. Okay, answer this poll. Pay-per-use model is followed by which technology? Cloud computing, grid computing, utility, parallel. Very good. Hurry up, answer everyone. Jaldi say, only 6 students are there in class. Just Anmol has answered. What about the rest? Hurry up. Arjun, Arvind, Meenakshi, Sahil, Simran. Arvind also done. Arvind and Anmol done. What about the others? Hurry up, respond to the poll. Very good. Only 2 students have responded. Yes, Arjun, Meenakshi, Sahil, Simran. Why you people are not responding? Hurry up, respond to the poll beta. Yes, Meenakshi, done. 3 students अभी भी left है. 6 में से 3 फिर से left है. Arjun, hurry up. Sahil, Simran, why you not responding beta? Hurry up. I hope Arjun, Sahil and Simran are present in the session. It's just not that you made the session online and you are not present. Hurry up beta. Arjun just lost the connection. Only Simran left. Simran, hurry up beta. Simran, answer the poll. Okay, might be Simran is also facing internet issue. Okay, so pay-per-use model is followed by which technology? Cloud computing, grid computing, utility computing, parallel computing. There are 4 students who answer this. One is, 2 students said it's a cloud computing, that are Arvind and Meenakshi. And 2 students said it's a grid computing, that is Anmol and Sai. Though he answers you have given to this question and dono are wrong. Pay-per-use model. Yesterday we did this. Yesterday in the class we did the topic of utility computing. What is the meaning of utility? Yesterday in the evening class, last lecture, we did this topic of utility computing, and I told you utility, utilization of resources. Whatever the resources you have used, for how many time you have used, type of kitni use की है, according to that you have to pay. Grid computing. Grid computing is basically a technology in which we are having a grid of systems. Like number of systems are attached in the form of grid, just like electricity grid over there, right? All they are just connected with the one main system, that is your control unit. And there from control unit ke upper we are having the users over there. So grid computing is a technology that just resembles like a grid of electricity, where we are having a grid of systems, right? Even these things you can recognize from the words also. But grid itself, the word recognize that it represent a grid. Utility, how much you are using, utilization of resources. So it's the technology in which an organization is providing the resources to the other organization, or one organization is hiring the resources from other organization. They don't have to actually physically buy their things, they just rent it out from the other organization. So that is your utility computing. It's really really very sad that you people, आपको एक दिन पहले का lecture remember नहीं है. एक simple words है, from the simple words से you can recognize. So you can see over here, grid, utility, parallel, or next can be anything like your distributed, cloud. Cloud basically is the internet or a storage, or you can say that, right? Grid, the word itself specifies a grid of things. Grid ka layman language maybe is the meaning is something group, some group is there, grid of something. So the same manner maybe we are having a grid of systems, number of grid of system is there. Utility, utility of something, utilizing something, using something, that is your utility computing. That's really poor performance. Utility computing is the technology that works on pay per use. When you have given this in the option, then you just have to select on it only, not don't go for the cloud computing. Cloud computing is the technology in which we get all these technologies, sub technologies, or these everything is there, right? So utility computing is the one that deals on the this concept of pay per use. जितना use किया उसके according pay करके come out over, right? Now clear? हाँ जी बोलो, is it clear now? Okay. Okay, let's just start with today's topic. Oh, thank you, Meenakshi. It's okay. So, next start with today's topic. Just give me a minute. I'm sharing a file with you. Today's topic that we're going to do is your... Okay, now tell me, is it visible? Distributed computing and your elasticity. Is it visible? Okay. Thank you, Anmol, Arvind. Thank you, Meenakshi. Visible? Okay, thank you, Beta. Thank you, Arvind. Okay, so what is distributed computing, difference, parallel distributed, elasticity, its purposes, and all. So this is all we're going to do today. What is distributed computing? You have multiple autonomous computers, which seems to the user as a single system. Now you can see when we just learned about the evolution of your cloud computing, in that we had a distributed computing. This was the approach in which we are having a group of number of multiple systems for that. They were just working as a single system, but there was a limitation that it should be on a one location over there, right? So distributed computing kya hai? We have multiple autonomous computers which seems to the user like a single computer, single system over there, right? The system, there is no shared memory, and the computers communicate with each other through the message passing over there. That means that was just a small like a you can say network in with there at the same location pe group of systems, the processing units, you can also say that, right? There will be processing units, those all make a combined group and act as a single system over there, right? So in distributed computing, a single task is divided among the different computers. So all the computers are there, they might give a one single task, because from outer side it's a one system for the user. So we can give them a task, and that task is further divided into these different computers, those who form that completely distributed computing over there, right? So what is the difference between parallel and a distributed computing? Because parallel computing, maybe we are having processing units that parallelly performing the execution of the different tasks, so as we are having a distributed computing, right, where we have a processing units, number of are connected over there, and they from outer side it looks like a single one system and work on it, right? So, oh, you can see over here, what's the first difference? Many operations are performed simultaneously, right? System components are located at a different locations. Components are different at locations. That means what? इसमें क्या होता है? We are having operations that can be simultaneously performed. That means parallelly is being performed over there. But the task here in which we have the components, the one who is providing the instructions or the work, it can be at the different locations also, right? But it will be performed at a number जो आपके system PC है जो connected है time पे, there it will be performed, right? It can be in a single computer can be required. A single system can perform the, because it just divide the program into instructions or data streams, so it can require just a one system and perform the operations. But in this we have multiple computers over there, right? Multiple processors perform multiple operations. Here it is multiple computers perform multiple operations over there, right? It may have a shared or distributed memory. It can have its own shared memory or a distributed memory. In this, it is just having a distributed memory, right? So processor communicate with each other through what? Buses. The internal buses are there. All the processors are communicating with through that buses over there, right? Computer communicate with each other through the message passing. So it improves the system performance, improves the system scalability, fault tolerance, resource sharing capabilities also there, right? Because number of systems are attached in this technology, so they also share the resources also. But in this case, where we can have a one system only. One system may we can have multiple processors over there, those who are simultaneously working on different processes over there, but sharing of resources is probably not there in that, right? But if there are number of systems and parallelly, that can be considered as your distributed computing, right? That was a simple distribution computing. That was just to make you understand, right? Clear, everyone? Next is we are having the topic that is your elasticity. What is elasticity? What is elasticity? It's like the word specifies elasticity, the degree to which a system is able to adapt to a workload changes. That means what? If we are having a system and in that system pay we are just putting up the, or we just got lot of workload over it, load is there, it will extend to that, right? Scalability is there, we can increase its you can say resources also by adding or provisioning and deprovisioning. If we require more, then more resources will be assigned. That means called your provisioning when the resources are ideal and we just know elasticity is the technology. It just recognize that these, for example, I think I have added the example also. Okay, I will just give you example that if I right now we are having any website which is having a very minimum load, but suddenly that website is you can say become famous, and famous is that, and everyone is accessing that website, right? So in that case usme ke paas kya ho gaya, the resources are very low, so that it requires more. So that is what, to provide the resources and to uh, make it easy responses, और ताकि hang ना हो site या reachable हो जाए, तो we just give it, provide more resources. So that is what provisioning, right? But एक time पे फिर the resources are not required by that sources and वो सारे resources are idle, so it will just deprovision. That means elasticity का मतलब it just changing according to the workload. अगर ज़्यादा workload है तो it will increase, अगर कम workload है तो it will shrink to the same location. So as the word elasticity, it can be increased or it can be decreased also. So it has these two technologies, that provisioning and your deprovisioning over there, right? Look, even you can see over here, according to the workload changes by provisioning and deprovisioning of the resources in an automatic manner, such that each point in a time the available resources match the current demand as closely as possible, right? So even you might have seen in the previous semester when we just started the these online lectures over there, right? In the day first what we faced, there was a error, like blue screen was there, 506 error was coming over there. We were not able to access this website, bb site. Do you remember this? Has anyone seen that error that was coming, a blue screen 506 error in the previous semester when we just started using this bb? Does anyone remember that or not? No? Any one of you have seen that or not? No one is responding. Am I audible? No. Okay. Okay, Arvind, have you ever tried or applied for any government website की उस पे जाके you applied for any paper or anything जो कोई जैसे निकलते हैं papers and all? Have you ever applied for that? When you have seen कि government sites के वो बहुत low होते हैं, when you try to access it वो बहुत time is just revolving and revolving, होते ही नहीं और उसके बाद shut down हो जाता है ऐसे. हाँ जी, एससीसी वगैरह. यस यस यस, दैट्स राइट. दैट इज व्हाट कि जब गवर्नमेंट वाले या कोई भी किसी भी डिपार्टमेंट वाले दे जस्ट ओपन अप वैकेंसीज एंड दे जस्ट शो कि इस डेट से इस डेट तक इस वेबसाइट पे यू हैव टू लॉग इन एंड फिल अप योर डिटेल्स और अप्लाई फॉर दैट पेपर. Yes, last paper pay. So that means what? Suddenly that website pay everyone is trying to access over there. That means workload increases. Workload increases. So उसको आप कैसे resolve कर सकते हो? By providing the more size or space या server size increase करके उसको provide करें, तभी वो response, so that it can handle that workload. But they don't bother. They just give the dates कि आप करते रहो, हो जाएगा. So उसी manner में CUIMS also stops. Yes, that is also the reason. But अगर हम इसको इस चीज को we want to resolve it through your elasticity. Elasticity basically is the technology, or the, you can say, define it, is the degree to which a system is able to adapt the workload. हम system को कैसे adapt बना सकते हैं? By the two things, that is provisioning and deprovisioning. Provisioning, that means if the workload increased on your website, you just provide the certain resources, required processing units to the system so that it can handle those load. जब उस पे load कम हो जाएगा, so this elasticity will automatically identify that these resources are now unavailable and it's just free those resources, right? So next point you can see elasticity is defining the characteristics that differentiate cloud computing from previously proposed computing paradigms, such as your grid computing also. It just differentiate from the grid computing also, because in that we are having just systems only over there and one control unit that is controlling over there, and it's very difficult for that to handle every processing unit ke wo, right? So you see time pay, the dynamic adaptation of capacity, example by altering the use of computing resources to meet a varying workload is called your elastic computing. Elastic computing matlab change karna according to the workload. If system requires more resources, uske workload के accordingly उसको देना and उसके ताकि वो efficiently work perform कर सके, right? Clear? Look, I've just given you the example also. You can see over here. Let us example a simple service provider who wants to run a website on a infrastructure as a service. Yeah, आपके cloud पे ही just running a website over. The moment the website is unpopular and single machine, most commonly virtual machines are sufficient to serve the web users. But in case at the moment website suddenly becomes very popular, right? And for example, as a result of flash crowd, the single machine is no longer to sufficient to serve the all users. So at that time when you have a bulk of workload, that machine is not able to handle that much of load, right? So based on the number of web users simultaneously accessing that website and the resource requirements over there to of the web user, it might be that 10 machines or more machine. Like if you are already having a one machine, and according to the number of users, like if we are saying that one machine can handle only one web user, right? So if 9 more people or 10 more people try to access that website, that means we require 9 more machines, right? So that is the requirement. It might be 10 machines are needed. So an elastic system should immediately detect this condition, right? So elastic system kya karega? It will immediately find the situation and provision 9 additional machines to the from the cloud so as to all the web servers responsibly, so that it can very effectively efficiently respond to all web users, right? Yeah, they don't have to wait it very frequently, just provide all the. If I'm just giving you an example only, that if one machine is enough for a one web user on a website, then if suddenly 10 to 11 people just trying to access it, that means it require more resources. So elastic computing is the technology that immediately detect the requirement and judge according to the workload that how many machines more are required, right? So according to same that it will provide the resources to that website or that machine's ka load will be handled, right? So now you can see at the time the when website becomes unpopular again, दोबारा से वही हो गया, सबने टेस्ट वेस्ट फिल कर दिया, खत्म हो गया, then again it comes to the same point पे. Then 10 machines that are currently allocated to the website are mostly idle now, and a single machine would be sufficient to serve all the few users who are accessing, or when jitni bhi access karenge that would be enough. So elastic system would immediately detect this condition and deprovision the 9 machines and release them to the cloud, right? So अब उनकी जरूरत नहीं है, so immediately it will release those resources to for the other work or made it release from that website. Clear? Clear everyone? Clear what is elasticity? Clear, Anmol? Okay, very good. So next is the over provisioning. Okay, thank you, beta. Next is elasticity aims at matching the amount of resources basically to allocate it to a service with the amount of resources it actually requires, avoiding the over or under provisioning. So elasticity the main purpose is that is just have to find the exact requirement. That exact requirement usko kitni hai, instead of doing the over provisioning or let it to be in the under provisioning. Under provisioning मतलब उसको कम पड़ गई वो resources जितनी भी दी हैं. Over provisioning that means आपने उसको ज़्यादा कर दी. That means उतने की उसकी requirement नहीं थी but वो ज़्यादा कर रहा है. So even you can see in the over provisioning the example is there. Allocating more resources than required should be avoided as service providers often has to pay for that resources. So अगर आप उसको जितनी चाहिए उतनी ही करोगे तो दैट वुड बी ओके. बट अगर आप उसको ओवर प्रोविजन कर दोगे, ओवर रिसोर्सेज आपको उसको पे कर दोगे, सॉरी प्रोवाइड कर दोगे, देन दे हैव टू पे फॉर दैट आल्सो विदाउट यूजिंग इट, बट इट इज बीइंग एलोकेटेड, right? It has been allocated to that website or that user, but they has to pay for it, right? So that is you can say considered as the issue of over provisioning or the provisioning, that it should be very careful and they have to pay accordingly कि इतने अगर they are amounting one instance के लिए this cost is there for a year, they have to $2,000 every year they have to pay for it, right? So that can be the expense high हो जाएगा, so that should also be taken care of. Under provisioning, allocating fewer resources than required must also be avoided. Otherwise, the service cannot serve its users with the good services. अगर वो under provision रह गया, that means उसको resources accordingly नहीं मिलेंगी. So that can also be the issue. In that manner, the resources or the services cannot be provided in efficient manner to the user. So in that case, क्या होगा? Even that site may lose their users in the future also. Like if we are just taken the example of that SCC की जो website है, number of students or the people try to submit their papers, but एक time पे ऐसा होता है कि reconnect and some of say said कि छोड़ो, it's not working, leave it, मुझे भरना ही नहीं है. So that is what कि इनका तो यही इशू है, यहाँ पे नहीं चलता, we can go for somewhere some other site and all. So in this manner it can be harmful for the service providers also, those who are losing their users also, right? That is your under provisioning basically means just the lack of resources, right? So what is the issue with the elasticity? Resource provisioning time. Time is the big issue because अगर आपकी for example you are providing the elasticity is providing the resources to a particular website at a particular time, right? So it takes some time when you are allocating, when the cloud or the elasticity is allocating the resources to any of the website or web users over there, it takes time. So that is the issue. The cloud machines can be required at any time by the any user, so it may take up several minutes to for the acquire the virtual machines to be ready in use. To make them ready in a use, it takes some time, right? So even the machines take startup time is dependent on the factors such as उसका कितना बड़ा size है, किस type की है, या उसकी location क्या है, number of machines जितनी वो hire कर रहा है. So everything matters a lot, राइट? सो उतने ही टाइम में इट रिक्वायर्स कि आप अगर बहुत फ्रीक्वेंटली चाहिए या पहले से चाहिए, सो दैट डिपेंड्स कि वो कितने टाइम पे आपको एलोकेट हो रही हैं, कितनी साइज की हैं. सो उन चीज़ों पे थोड़ा टाइम लगता है. सो रिसोर्सेज को प्रोविजन करना इट्स अ बिग टास्क एंड इट कंट्रोल करना. सो इलास्टिसिटी में दिस इज द बिग इशू, right? Because ऐसा भी है कि some time पे certain load आता है and you are asking for the resources and suddenly you are getting resources within a second. That is not possible. It takes some time and even to start up them and even to make it accessible to you, right? So that is the big issue in the elasticity, right? Otherwise it's a good technology to get the resources on time, get the resources and work your work accordingly, but time is the big issue because exact time पे exact issue resources आपको available हो जाएं, that is the big issue in your elasticity. Resource provisioning का time is the big issue, right? Next is monitoring elastic applications. Applications such as each can allocate and deallocate the resources on demand for a specific application components. That is basically to allocate the resources or deallocate the resources properly over there. उनको proper हुई हैं या नहीं है हुई हैं. That is the one thing, and this makes the cloud more cloud resources more This makes the cloud resources volatile, and traditional monitoring tools which are associated with the monitoring data with the particular resources, these are the name of the resources which are no longer suitable, like monitoring the behavior of the elastic applications over there, right? So example you can see over here, during the lifetime data storage tires, elastic applications might remove when data store machines are required due to the cost, performance requirement, varying the number of use of virtual machines also, right? So that is also one example over there. The additional information is needed in monitoring elastic applications also, such as associated logical applications, structure over underlining, virtual machine infrastructure should be there, right? Even other problems such as how to aggregate the data from multiple virtual machine towards extracting the behavior of the application, okay, how the application is behaving, and uske accordingly exact data you have to aggregate कि उसको कितनी जरूरत है या कितनी requirement है. So that is also a big point to get exact number of that how many resources are being required and how many things to be how many resources to be allocated over there, right? So elasticity requirements. What are the requirements of it? Deploying when deploying application in a cloud infrastructure. That is cloud infrastructure as a basically it's in the basically when you are providing infrastructure as a service, when you are providing the resources to a cloud, in that this technology is being used. Even we're going to study these your infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or your software as a service in detail also, but right now we are studying this elasticity, so that's why I'm giving you example that जो आपके infrastructure as a service, when you are providing the infrastructure as a service to the users, in that may we have this elasticity, right? So requirements of the stakeholders to need to be considered in order to ensure the proper elasticity behavior. Elasticity behavior depends upon the how frequently it just provision and deprovision the resources, right? Agar if somebody is demanding the resources more frequently and maximum number of resources are being required, so usi ke accordingly you elasticity has to provision those resources, right? And even it should be very fast that same time pe they get resources and utilize those resources. Even though in the traditional one would try to find the optimal trade-off between the cost and the quality or the performance for the real world. That could be the requirements regarding the behavior or more complex and target multiple dimensions of the elasticity. That is basically the performance के according quality products or the quality resources should be provided over there, so that the work should not hamper and even the complex termination multiple problems should be solved over there, right? The levels of control, multiple levels of control कौन से हैं? And that are your cloud application can be of varying type and the complexities with multiple level of architects deployed in the layers over there, right? So what are those? Like controlling a structure must take into the consideration कि क्या controlling structure है, varieties of issues approaches in your this your बंद हो गया. Something is am I audible? My connection is poor. It's totally red. Yes, ME students, am I audible? Invisible? Okay, Anmol. Okay, thank you, beta. Thank you. It was actually reconnecting from my end, so that I thought it's not visible. Sorry, I'm not audible. Okay. I just got reconnected. That's why. So next is your for multiple level control over there. The control system need to consider the different impact lower level condition. Control upon the higher level ones also, right? Lower levels say higher levels, if they are having the compatibility between the layers also, that should also be maintained, controlling the machines, web containers, web services at the same time. Okay, so it just specify the layers over every layer where we just have to manage those things and properly should be managed. Resource provisioning and kya things and that are virtual machines key, web containers key, and the services jo bhi web services hai, everything would be managed over there, right? So that was your elasticity. Clear? Basically, the elasticity is a technology in which we can extend it by the provisioning, by providing the resources. Provisioning means providing the resources जितनी ज़रूरत है, and even we can decrease it to the lower level जब जितनी अगर ज़रूरत नहीं है उसके according we can get it into the smaller level. So basically it's a technology that it automatically judge whatever the resources are being required by any web user, right? Whosoever is using the resources and uski agar website ko is not properly working over there and he just require the resources, so this technology is the one that provides the resources according to the requirement, right? So as it also works on the demand basis, but demand basis meaning it just give you like utility computing में हम जितनी हमारी ज़रूरत है रिसोर्सेज को यूज करके उतनी वो कर दें, बट इलास्टिसिटी इज द टेक्नोलॉजी, इट ऑटोमेटिकली जज द वेबसाइट की अगर उस पर हैवी वर्कलोड है इस टाइम पे, सो इट विल प्रोवाइड देम दी मशीन्स, राइट? अगर ज़्यादा लोड नहीं है तो इट विल जस्ट deprovision those resources. But when it comes to utility computing, वहाँ पे we are having a particular users, that user will use that resources and use कितनी करनी थी उसके बाद वो उसको release कर देगा. But elasticity is a automatic technology that just provide the automatic resources to that web user whosoever is required it, and जब उसको देखा कि now इसको ज़रूरत नहीं है तो उसी के accordingly वो उसको deprovision कर देगा, right? Clear everyone? Anybody having any doubt in the elasticity, that how it works? Yeah, anything, anyone having any doubt, you can ask it. Yes, anyone having any doubt in this topic? No one is responding. Even though only 4 students are left, Arvind, Meenakshi, Sahil and Simran. Anyone having any doubt in the elasticity, you can ask. If no doubts, then that is very good. Anyone? No doubts? Okay, very good. Okay, then that's all was the topic for today to discuss. If you have any doubt, you can ask also, but we are still left with 2 more minutes. If you have any query, you can ask. Otherwise, that's all for today, beta. Thank you. Thank you so much. Even if you want to leave the session, you can leave the session also, because we are hardly having 1 minute only. Okay. Thank you, beta. Thank you so much.